Book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3, beginning at verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affections, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Kol Halolim La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Racha Kodash Bakatham. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth to you. I say Shalom. So, Brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I came across an article on my Newsbreak app, was notified of it, and we just did like a live, but I wanted to bring this video out because of this article, because just showing the times we in. So, as it tells you in scripture, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So Salakia for that bit of confusion or whatever, but so um, articles. Okay, so this is, man. That's the spirit too. Like, this is another article in my city. This says 7 shot in Cleveland in 15-hour span. Police say, but the article I wanted to read was out of this. It says shooter in Lakeland, Florida kills 4, including infant, shoots 11-year-old girl multiple times, sheriff says. Lakeland, Florida. 4 people were killed and an 11-year-old girl was shot, and deputies came under fire early Sunday in a neighborhood in North Lakeland, Florida. Polk County Sheriff Grady Jude said the shooting took place at 4:30 a.m. in 2 separate houses on the same property. Jude said 2 separate shootouts occurred in short order between law enforcement and the suspect, Brian Riley, 33, of Brandon, Florida. Riley was shot once and surrendered shortly after, he said. Lakeland police and troopers from Florida Highway Patrol were also involved. No law officers were injured in the shootout. So, the same, if I'm reading this correct, the suspect that's supposed to committed these murders actually lived. Riley was shot once and surrendered shortly after, he said. It says after Riley was in custody, police discovered an 11-year-old girl who had been shot multiple times, as well as a man, 2 women, and an infant. So that was like 5 people. That's 5 people. Jude said Riley was a Marine Corps veteran and served in Iraq and Afghanistan. He spent 4 years in the Corps before being honorably discharged. He then spent another 3 years in the reserves. He worked at ESS Global Corporation, providing executive protection and security. According to his girlfriend of 4 years, whom he lived with, and Brandon, Riley had PTSD and was occasionally depressed but never violent. She said he worked security at a church in Orlando a week ago and came home saying he could speak directly to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Well, and that, that's off. You know what I mean? Um, you know, I don't know. I can't speak for every man's. Well, but it was spiritual nonetheless. You know what I mean? I can't speak for how the relationship for each man is. I don't know who. What I mean? Like it tells you that Moses saw and spoke with Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, but this guy, that also has me think of a scripture though. It says she said he worked security at a church in Orlando a week ago and came home saying he could speak directly to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. So when you go into the book of Ecclesiasticus or the book of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 28, it says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Because they're tools the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua uses for judgment, to bring about death and sore strokes. It says, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword. And the sword. And this man, although he didn't use a physical sword like back in the day, ancient swords, he used the modern day sword, which was a gun, because he shot those people. He shot that little girl. But the point, punishing the wicked to destruction. And ultimately tells you in the scripture that life and death is in the hands of the Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get this book, Psalm 68. I tend to do a lot of scriptures on this, on judgment, and so they could be, these can be embedded in your spirit, because we ain't living in a time of judgment. This is Psalms 68 and verse 20. He that is our power is the power of salvation. But Yahweh Bashim Yahushua can save you from judgment. It says, and unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the Lord, belong the issues from death. So he can either deliver you onto death or he can save you from it. It tells you in scripture the Most High requires the souls. It tells you that the Most High kills and makes alive. He wounds and he heals. Back into the article, it says, Jude said that Saturday evening Riley was in North Lakeland and saw a man mowing a lawn. Jude said Riley stopped and told the man that he needed to speak to the man's daughter, Amber, because Yahweh warned him she was going to commit suicide. But the man and the woman at the residence told Riley there was no one there by that name. The incident was reported to the sheriff's office, and the deputy went to the neighbor at 7:30 Saturday, but Riley couldn't be found. Riley's girlfriend later told detectives that Riley returned home that evening and told her God gave him a vision that the man's daughter was going to kill herself. 9 hours later, Jude said a lieutenant about 2 miles away heard 2 volleys of gunfire from the area of the original call. At the same time, 911 calls began coming in reporting an active shooting. When deputies and other law enforcement arrived, they saw a truck on fire and a popping noise coming from the front yard. As they approached, they found an individual who was totally outfitted in body armor and looked as though he was ready to engage us in an active shooter situation, Jude said, but we didn't see a firearm. Jude said the man ran back in the house and deputies heard a gunshot and a woman scream and a baby whimper. The lieutenant tried to enter the house, but it was barricaded. Jude said he then went to the rear of the house and entered, exchanging gunfire with the suspect before backing out of the house. Jude said 3 deputies at the front of the house were pinned down by gunfire from the suspect, and other agents on scene opened fire to help the deputies get to safety. Shortly thereafter, Jude said things went silent and the suspect came out of the house with hands up. He had been shot once. Jude said the suspect was taken to Lakeland Regional Health Medical Center for treatment. While being treated, Jude said he jumped up and tried to grab the Lakeland police officer's gun, and they had to fight with him again in the emergency room. They subdued the suspect and continued treating him. Meanwhile, the authorities on the scene entered one of the homes where they found an 11-year-old girl shot several times. The girl told deputies there were 3 dead people in the house. Oh, so she must have lived. Deputies found Justin Gleason, 40, along with a 33-year-old female and a 3-month-old boy dead from gunshot wounds. When deputies went to the home behind that one, they found another woman, the 62-year-old grandmother of the 3-year-old boy, shot to death. The sheriff's office did not name any victims except Gleason, whose family agreed to release the name. The 11-year-old girl was taken to Tampa for treatment. Jude said authorities were still searching for another young girl about 10 or 11 years old, but there was no evidence that she was on scene. Jude said Riley told deputies, "You know why I did this," and described himself as a survivalist. And they keep on coming out with these survivalists. I think I got an article I was going to do about that. A guy that did something and considered himself as a survivalist. Jude said he told that's just probably another avenue they're gonna push to try and take away, these people's rights or so-called rights or privileges to bear arms. Jude said he also told detectives they begged for their lives, but I shot them anyway. He's evil in the flesh, Jude said. The incident matches the worst mass killing in Polk's history. In December 1997, Nelson Serrano gunned down his former business partner, George Gonzalez, Gonzalez 69, and Frank Doso, 35, Diane Doso Petiso, and George Petiso at Eric Manufacturing in Bartow. Sereno was sentenced to death in 2006, but in 2016, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled Florida's death penalty process unconstitutional and opened the door for Sereno and others on death row to be resentenced. He remains on death row awaiting the resentencing. So, said all that to say, that's pretty violent too, what I mean? And that's all spiritual, you know what I mean? You know, just for the fact that they, it ain't just skin color, you know what I mean? Just for the fact that this man killed people and then tried to attempt to take the officer's gun and he wasn't killed. You gotta remember, I just said the Most High belongs to issues of death. Just like, what I mean, the Most High put that spirit on him to do that. And that, at the end of the day, you're gonna have more violence coming soon because I mean we living in a time of judgment, and this is the book of Matthew chapter 24 verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Nobody, that man had no love for that infant or that little girl. You heard what he said they begged, but he still shot him anyway. So you're gonna see more spirits of vengeance out here, what I mean, just like that movie Ghost Rider, what I mean, spirits made for vengeance. So with that, I'm gonna end the lesson. Pray the lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Call Haloyim, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahushai, Ba Hashem, Racha, Kodash, Rakatham. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwath and the Yakim out there listening, learning. Lord willing, this was edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad and in the land of other nations appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. Until next time, Lord willingly, I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom, and mawath, blah, blah, blah. Shalom.